Hello there. This is Matt Bougher from Bougher Custom Guitars and Amplifiers in Ardmore, Oklahoma. And I was asked to do a little video here, which I'm going to share, and also some pictures to accompany it, on a 1966 Fender Twin that will be up for sale. So here is the video and the explanation of exactly what I have done to the amplifier. It is basically stock configuration, so we'll go with that, and the video will explain the rest of that. So let me flip this around and we'll get started. Thank you very much. Okay, here's the insides of the amp, and I'm going to get a little light on the subject. This is a 1966 Fender Twin, and as you can see, it is primarily original, and I'm going to highlight the parts that I replaced during the maintenance of the amplifier. These are the first stage. Those are some coupling caps, the first stage. Those have been replaced with newer ones of the same value as the original. They're just newer components. Their value has not changed. Those two are also the same. They have been upgraded to mod type capacitors, which are very high quality signal, and they are also the same value. This potentiometer, the very first one there in the circuit, has been replaced. The original was damaged. And moving on down the circuit, this is all original. Those were replaced prior to me getting the amplifier. Those were from a previous maintenance, and as was that one. These last three caps here in the power segment I replaced with the orange drop style capacitors. The originals were these type of the blue type of capacitors, and they were completely blown, so these three have been upgraded to those. They are still the original value, but they are upgraded to a higher quality type. And now I'm going to get down here where you can sort of see this. Now here is the power tubes right there, and you can see that I've replaced the screen grid resistors across there and the grid stopper resistors with newer quality pieces and also higher wattage pieces, so it will be more durable. These amplifiers were those were originally 1 watt resistors right there, the one I'm getting the glare on. Those were originally 1 watt resistors, and this grid stopper resistor didn't exist at all. So the grid stopper is a modification which protects the tubes in the case that something goes wrong with the amplifier. The tubes will not short out and the amplifier will not burn up. It also protects the output transformer, which is here and is original. So those screen grid resistors have been replaced with 5 watt resistors for durability and heat dissipation. So that's one of the mods that I've done to it. They do the same thing as the original, same value, just a higher wattage rating. And I've replaced that capacitor in the power segment right here for the rectifier section. Those are all the original diodes, but I replaced that capacitor because it was leaking. And then coming to the second channel, that potentiometer there has been also replaced because it was also corroded and highly damaged as well. So that is the state of the amplifier. And zooming out a little bit, you can see that the wiring has been straightened out. I've routed everything neatly so that it has less signal degradation problems, so less buzz, that kind of thing. So it's a quiet sounding amplifier because the wire routing is proper. The only other modification that I forgot to mention, I'll show you really quick. There is a grounded power cable now installed. This 3-prong type, modern type. And if you look right there, that is the power socket for the auxiliary power going to the switch, and then over to, I know it's really hard to see with all this crazy light thing going on in here, but there's the switch and the fuse right there. Sorry about the lack of lighting, but there's the powers. Now there used to be a cap between that switch and ground that was nicknamed the death cap, and there's a reason for that, because if it shorts out, it can electrocute you, because it can make the chassis of the amplifier hot, which is why on these old vintage amplifiers we replace it with a grounded type cable, a modern type cable. And we do that only if the person that owns the amplifier intends to play it on stage. If it is to be a vintage collector piece, I will leave the original cable in there. In this case, this amplifier is a player. It has been used on stage, it has been used in shows, and therefore needs to be safe. So we replace that cable. Also, one thing that I have done here is I replaced, if I can locate it, one of those two caps right there. Where we're at, sorry. One of those two resistors, not caps. I'm thinking and looking at the same time. One of those two right there I replaced because it had burned out, and that capacitor right there and the resistor next to it have been replaced also, which altered the input signal of that channel slightly, giving it a slightly hotter input than the other channel. That is a very common thing that is done to Fender Twins to give that second channel just a tiny bit more punch. It keeps the original tonality of the amplifier. It just basically gives it a little gain boost, but that's a very common thing to be done to a player type twin amp. Now that amplifier circuit is still original Fender stuff, and other than that little thing and the power cable, everything else is completely stock. Got brand new tubes in it all around, been rebiased, everything is set up, and it's a player, and it's loud. It's putting out about, I think when I metered it, when I put it all together the last time and I metered it, I think it was putting out about 75 to 80 watts at about 3/4 volume. So it's fairly loud and punchy, and it sounds like a Fender Twin. Sounds like it should. So anyway, I hope that video helps. I will include some pictures with it, and it's got brand new Eminence Legend speakers in it when I'm done here, and we'll you can use that video as a record of what has been done to the amplifier. So there you go. Have a nice day from Bougher Guitars and Custom Guitars and Amplifiers in Ardmore, Oklahoma. Enjoy. Bye. All right, hello there. Here's an additional video, a little short one. The last video that I just uploaded for the 66 Fender Twin, I neglected to put the cap canister on the video, so I'm going to video that really quick and explain what I did to that, and send that video also, so there will be 2 videos for you. So sorry about that. So here we go. And here is the bottom of the amplifier. There is the cap canister. This is located on the bottom next to the transformers, as you can see. And here's the inside of it. Now these caps were already in there from the previous maintenance visit somewhere else. And all that I have done to it is I replaced these 2 resistors right there. And they were pretty burned out. And I replaced one of the yellow wires going over to here, because it was pretty trashed also. And then I added the RTV to anti-vibration in here and cleaned it up a little bit. So that's the extent of that. But those caps were all tested. They're all good. They are upgraded. I did not install those. When I installed them with the labels facing upwards so that you can read what the caps are. But like I said, I didn't do that. That was already done when I got the amplifier. But I did test them, and they are the proper value, and they are good quality. So anyway, there you go. So there's the rest of the amplifier. So, all right. So there's the rest of the 66 Fender Twin. And I am going to finish putting this thing back together so that we can get it back to the customer. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.